Welcome to my Clarity channel. Once again, y'all, I'm Deirdre Square, and I am welcome you here. I am inviting everyone to chime in and explore their freedom of expression with me. My email is listed. I welcome you to suggest anything on the topics that I can expand on. Also, I'm welcoming your comments. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my page if you haven't already. Thank you. I am providing some of my essence for the sake of just down the earth behavior, y'all. And no, I'm not going to cut up, but I am going to be myself and my behavior that is real, that is not drawn by just to impress anyone, but what everyone may be attracted to, but filled with my grace, filled with intuitivity power that is potent, full of good energy, full of real energy. Every divine guidance that I receive from my friends and family and even strangers, I am going to post and recapture certain moments. Even when I may experience something I don't understand, I want to talk clarity. It is my intention to be straightforward with my human alchemy for clear understanding. I welcome you. I welcome every way that we could possibly turn this into dialogue, with your expertise, with your questions. We can recapture certain things together. Here, I thank everyone for their vibrant brilliance, my family, my friends, your insight, your light energy. I'm doing this and it's just beyond feeling. It's a connection to a source, sunlight, that is even behind me. It's such a beautiful day, even though it's a little chilly. I thank you in advance for being here. I offer this monologuing to spark thought. Let's talk clarity. What am I doing here? It's just that I've been doing it for years, but right now, this subject right now, what I'm talking about is empathic and empathy. Let's talk clarity on that. I want to talk clarity and speak on how it is that sometimes we need to be able to, like a blade, to cut through etheric cords and reverberate to those who are open-minded, those who are in a place to where you're not absorbing illness and sickness. We both can talk about this, so let's talk clarity on that. Doing the work and seeking and discovering some truth, and actually, if you feel something that isn't always talked about, let's talk clarity on that. This is a safe place for that. Because to those things that exist, the work that we do, when we're in our career, when we're going to our 9 to 5s, when we're at school, when I say at school, it's some of you are in college that can tune in. I welcome you to the Clarity channel. You must cut the etheric cords every day and question, the points that seem to be, they come out like the truth, but they make you feel bad inside. Let's talk clarity on that. After my own series of life experience, certain things that I can look back on that I used to think was the truth, and then it turned around to be something a bit more interesting, to where I had to do my research. I had to find that truth was actually a lie, and some things you don't want to believe, that you believed for so long, turn out not being the truth. Let's talk clarity on that. For example, you might be empathic and, you feel other people's feelings. And, some of us, when you're young, you don't know how to discern what's your energy and what belongs to someone else. How do you do that? Let's talk clarity on that, because sometimes, even as a caretaker, that stuff can knock you off balance. You have to, be inclined, or you can be overly responsible for other people, and that can drain you. You have an underappreciation that I see for yourself. When you say, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to break my back, it's a lack of self-love. As that type of mind frame, that type of energy continues to shift even on the planet itself, and that empathic energy, empathy itself is dissolving. Therefore, the idea that other people energy or the exhaust that you have is simply that it's an idea that no longer should be, active as an aspect of something new in our lives right now, the new paradigm, of consciousness. We are eternal. You're eternal. So nothing can be added to you, nothing can't be taken away from you. And the idea of death, that your body ages and die, which is an aspect of your relationship to yourself. It also is that same facet as a whole. Okay. It's some people that actually absorb other people's energy and they age because that's where they stay at. They stay in feeling that they're going to be sick, feeling that they're going to die, feeling and negative mindset, speaking things that are not good, even drawn to that energy. Just imagine that our relationships are ways for you to connect light to light, even when people who you may have found in the past to be toxic back in the day, that's what everybody's talking about. But we used to call it energy vampires. And as you connect to those type of energy vampires, those type of toxic people from a certain light, you're able to see them as toxic. You can see their essence, and you're able to connect to that light, especially if you call it out, and it becomes contagious. You see that light, they see your light. I see you, you see me. So it all becomes light. And our relationships, regardless of the state that you're in, you could be clean across the country and see that energy. It's light. It's another way that you connect to light. It's another way that you will be able to get even more either drain energy or nourishment, nutrition for your tomorrow. Because when you do that, tell me, how do you feel when you know what it is when you exhaust yourself? And if you wake up the next day and you thinking about something, I'm inviting everyone here, to comment. Let's talk clarity on that. I really appreciate, open dialogue. Sometimes, we sit up and when people talk about spiritual journey, they only seem to be talking about that wonderful word manifestation. Okay, well, I want to talk about unmanifesting. People are always talking about the new moon, the full moon. They use Florida water, crystals and all that stuff. Me personally, I want to talk about barriers, okay, that people create. Okay. Some of my wise teachers, they have talked about, I look at them as sages. We can turn around and we can look at people that are unwise. There's people that are unwise and no one's talking about that stuff. No one's drawing on how to keep your peace and being healed. We hardly even share and speak about the real side of things in spiritual journeys, the part where you gotta do that shadow work. Now they're talking about the shadow work, and you can sell it, you can buy it in a book, you can transfer it, you can take the classes. Yes, let's talk clarity on that shadow work and mirror work. Let's dig in that closet and pull out those skeletons where you gotta forgive that someone that trespassed against you. Trespassed against you. People are living their lives out there and they're not able to talk clarity about, a molester maybe, where you got to forgive. Even let's talk on this. Mamas and dads, we got to forgive mama and dad that may have abandoned you, that might have abused you. We got to let go of those toxic thoughts, those toxic energies, the toxic men, the toxic boyfriend, the toxic girlfriend that drained you. When you gotta acknowledge you yourself being a toxic person to your own self. That is a subject that I want to talk about right now. You just got to stop playing the victim, because there's times when no one has done anything to you but yourself, where you got to remove yourself from the idea, from the way your mind derives and dwell in those spaces where that's what you're remembering. Just like some people, they can push a button and block people that they don't want to see on their social media pages. You need to do that in your own mind. It's an environment as well. That whole history, and it definitely creates more trauma, because you can get into these relationships and have that within yourself, and you can start traumatizing the crap out of somebody that don't even know, what I'm saying, what's going on with you, and they love you, they care about you. Where you gotta go and really just apologize, apologize to yourself. There's some moms and dads that have done some things to their children, and I'm gonna tell you, the best thing that you can do is apologize to your children for pouring your trauma inside of your pain. Apologize to your children. I'm a mother, and if there was anything that I poured inside of my children with my pain, to the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm a sorry person, but I truly apologize for being in a space to where my feelings and my emotions or my attitude might have put them in a place of toxicity, and they felt my pain and they were walking around feeling just as bad as myself, and maybe I didn't mean it, but for the true manifestation, you have to unmanifest certain things. It's more sunny days than dark days. Smiling inside your journey. You're going to have to deal with those rainy, stormy days, but you don't, people that just don't want to face them, and that they really, they don't truly heal. They walk around, they have all these degrees and beauty, but they're walking around unhealed. I like my family and friends that know what I'm talking about. They carry substance. You know what I mean? And on that level, excuse me, I have to take some of my tea. Anytime I have a hard time pronouncing a word because I'm getting dry mouth, because this is a lot. So, everyone has a story. Sometimes, I can share a story, but, it's not all the time I'm going to share anything in my past, because when I get up, it's a new day for me. But sometime, placing an example, and demonstrating my humanness is what that will be when you see and you hit the button and you subscribe to my page, and I am speaking about something. I'm placing that energy there with an intention. It might, be better because, I love visionary narratives. So I put myself out there. It's a popular line, that drape and congest the media. So I want to do something that's a little bit, on a different shift, because I see the lines that need some kind of re-examining, some seasoning, some heating up work, and some chilling out work, some actual getting to the salty vibes and placing clarity around those conditions. Because people, a lot of people are too scared to admit to others that they need to be confident within themselves and shake out their beds and remove the garbage they need that needs disposal. I think through the years we have worked at separating ourselves away from the good communities because it's not there within ourselves, or we don't have the confidence. But as an example, I am putting that here on a clarity channeling level. This is a monologue. So right now, my feelings, and, I might feel a little uneasiness, but it doesn't stop me. There ain't no confusion. There's a lot of confusion to a lot of things that we could talk clarity about, and we could talk about disappointments and avoiding a lot of things. We can talk about, when you might have had to hide some of your trauma, or trauma that's hidden that happens, and no one is unable to lead us beyond a certain battle. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a fight. You got to go through a certain battle to get to some good places in life. When we are in our passages of life, we create currency that is strong, and when we get through them, we don't even give ourselves credit. We go to work every day and we're there, and people don't really understand that your currency, your energy is being given at a very strong currency. And what I do understand, that many of us aren't aware of how to shift out of that. And it's a free choice. Once you learn how to shift and upgrade your shifting skills and go beyond the concepts that may get you, settled into a routine, because you're making your money, settled into a position, that complacency because you're powerful to do that. You don't want to budge out of that, because anything else, all that work that you put in, you're not going to look over there because you ain't got no work over there. You don't want to be that. You don't want to sit back into the student seat. You don't want to sit back into, once you're grown, you don't want to be the child and somebody telling you what to do. It's an unsettling discord between your loved ones and people in general that can help you be neutral. Some people won't admit these things. I don't think forgiveness, for example, the proper understanding, people don't understand what that is. I don't think forgiveness means accepting what someone did to you was all right. You know what I'm saying? No. When somebody did something to you and it's not all right, it's not right. And I don't think people understand that. For me, it's more about accepting, okay, hear this. A person failed humanity. They failed at being human. So releasing my own anger, my trauma for what someone's done to me, is because I look at a person and I say, you know what? They couldn't even be human for doing that to me. I don't have to live in that place. When you're not okay, and when you react to similar situations flat out and go into a trigger, you know what I'm saying? And you're into a trigger because you know what I'm saying? You absorb that energy, and you can become worse than the person that traumatized you. That's what I'm saying to you, especially allowing your energy to take you to a visual and a feeling and a level in your mind that you're not human. So by forgiving someone and understanding why you're forgiving someone, you look at it and say, oh, that person failed, they're being human. And then you can look at yourself and be like, okay, well, I'm human because I'm able to function and draw a light, a memory of where I can be. I woke up this morning and I saw the sun. I woke up this morning and I saw myself, and thank God I'm still here to do what I love to do. Instead of responding in a stiffness and walking away with it all stiff in your mind and doing whatever that is, like separating yourself from your own spiritual power. People don't understand that. You could walk away and stay with something and leave your peace somewhere on outside of you and be stiff as board, wake up the next morning and feel sick. You know what I mean? You barely want to move. When you see someone that upsets you and you can't even function right because you don't like them or whatever. That's why forgiveness, the type of forgiveness that I understand, is so important. Fighting against yourself when the only thing that is so important is that some people, they just want to say, oh, I don't want to go there, I'd rather brush that under the rug. No, put it to some light and burn it away from you. You understand what I'm saying? Burn it and see it disintegrate, because not being human is a disservice to yourself. You know what I mean? Let's talk clarity. It's time to declutter and unmanifest those press constraints. And when others have no interest to do that, it's okay that they want to grasp resistance. It's okay that they want to argue. That's okay, but you can't clap your hands with one hand. You can, it take two. So, it's okay. People can be slaves if they want to be slaves. You know what I'm saying? It's some people that go to their job, to their 9 to 5s, and they're good at not being a slave, but they have great supervision. That's why they're supervisors. In all awareness, some want their time to be gentle to themselves. And that is something that is so vital and contagious too. And those are the type of leaders that we become. Our essence to do also self-care and reinforcement without storing unknown pain and allowing it to collect to start to feel physically discomfort. Who wants to go? This is what I'm saying. I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? People that sit with me, they can draw the type of energy, and it is a nutrition food. But I also can have behavior and give them a picture of themselves if they're a toxic person. You know what I mean? I can act toxic. Doesn't mean I am toxic. Sometimes it might mean that I'm not about to give myself my peace to you. So, on a point of what's so wonderful, the beautiful work that we do, when we're devoted for our independence, when you're knowing that you're doing the work, you can keep the axis grinding. When you do remove those barricades that's causing holes in a place inside of your soul, it actually just need more love, and for what it is, I don't have a problem giving myself love. It's not so good if you expect love from someone, the expectation, and they can't give you that, and then you walking around and you're dark. You know what I mean? It's time to glow up. You know what I'm saying? Glowing up is better than growing up, because some people grow up and then they grow old. But when you glow up and you feel it without feeling heavy or pressed, that's going beyond being empathic. Okay? Because you're recognizing what forgiveness is in the way that I've explained it. You can be disappointed that a person was not able to be human. They failed. But if you forgive them, they might have learned something by seeing that, oh, you're not gonna, be mad at me. You ain't pissed. For what? For what? You failed. I didn't fail. In that position, it feels good to be light as a feather. At that moment, you are ready to retreat. Somehow, all those unknown feelings I used to have as a young girl, I no longer have. I can go inside my garden, as I mentioned in a video prior to this. Instead of me needing to guard my heart and worry about what someone is going to do to me, I rather go inside my garden and flourish. You know what I'm saying? I rather go and grow and smell the roses. Moses went up to that burning bush. You understand? He retreated. Somehow that unknown feeling comes over you. But when you're pissed off, you get a glimpse of yourself, but it takes seconds to just burn it off because you have to ask yourself, what am I being upset for? Especially when it got something to do with someone else's poor attitude, with someone else's failure against themselves that maybe you observed, that maybe in conversation, the way they came at you, they were trying to, give you some of that contagious energy. And you can have conversations, but you don't have to let things heat up inside of you to where you're having, chest pains and you can't even breathe right. So in those routines, they can be so poisonous. Why even drink poison? When you go to your job and, oh, I don't want to go to the job because I don't want to deal with that such and such person. See them for who they go to that job, see them, know that it's there, know the feeling is there, but move beyond it because somewhere it's a failure that you don't want to be taken into yourself to become what, a failure? No. Some of us, we know our parents set us up to win. You know what I'm saying? To be upset, to be not so good about something is a human thing, but to stay there to where your heart racing, let me tell you what silence is, lady. Silence is power. But when you can't get that, let's talk clarity. What is happening? What is happening to you when someone is not doing what you want them to do and you going in to them about what you want them to do? Let's talk clarity on that. You're going to bust a brain vessel because you're not trying to see what's going on with that person. You have no idea. And not having empathy, it's like really crazy, right? And we know when you go to your job, you are there to be in a place where you're pretending, or you have a sequence to where you have become a certain part of yourself, but it's not your whole self. When you go home or when you go around your loved one, that love is there for a reason because it is the axis of your own self. And when you are a part of that light that is nurturing to that person to get better, nurturing for that person to live, nurturing for that person, sometimes if they're living in a certain light that you may not understand, forgiving them for failing to be good to themselves keeps you whole. It doesn't mean that you can, sometimes you may have to love them and let them go, but you don't have to grasp resistance to cause breaking. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to go within yourself and do something to where it's not a self-induced suffering. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are addicted to pain, and that's when you turn on the news and you hear these unhuman things happening around the world. So my conversation to you is, let's talk clarity. Do you know the difference between having empathy for someone? Do you know the difference if you are an empathic person and you can feel someone's energy? I want to talk clarity on that. Okay, I thank you for coming to my channel. Let's talk clarity. I'm Deirdre Square. I'm your host. Happy sun energy to you. I send you a source of strength, love, and clarity. Okay, thank you.